Good day, everyone. So today is September 2, and I just want to explore the Godot engine further so that I can better contribute with our team projects with the use of the game engine. Right now, I am not yet familiar with the GD script, so I want to get my hands dirty in coding. So uh, just expect that this video series will be more on exploration of the platform, and it's not going to be me being an expert with this engine. I'm pretty new with it also, so if you have some suggestions on how to explore it, feel free to drop your comment down below. And right now, this is actually day two. I have explored some documentations of Godot, and later we can try to look it up also. I would just suggest that you go and try to download the latest version, which is 4.3, or the stable version. Right now, I do have an installed version in my machine, and as you can see here, I already have the 4.2.1, and that's the latest, or let's say a stable version that I was able to install. And right now, I just want to create a new here. I'm going to create a new folder here, and I'm just going to name this uh, 2D game beginner. So let's just call it that. Or let's say GD games. Then the project will be, and I'm just going to create a new folder. No. You're about to create a Godot project in a non-empty folder. Will be import this project. Are you sure? Cancel. So that's not a good idea. So what we can do is we have a create a folder, and that will be creating GT games, and click there. Now, as we can see here, it's loading, and let's have to explore the documentation. I have been doing some reading already, and some things that I discovered is that if you're using Godot 3, you might have an issue with kinematic body 2D. So let's first try to go and set up a main scene in the Godot engine. So let me just go back to the engine here. And you will see we have scene, we have some project settings, we have debug, editor settings, we have a file system. So I think with Unity, this is going to be the assets or the files. Then we have the inspector, the node, and then the history. This one, I haven't really seen how to use that yet. History also, but we'll go and try to explore those. And we have some options on the top here to choose a 2D scene, 3D, and the scripts that we will be having. And then an asset library. I haven't used this yet. So totally I'm totally clueless yet what this will be providing us. So we do have a lot of things here, but I haven't yet explored that. And right now, I just want to focus first with a simple player that can move left and right on a 2D scene environment. So I'm just going to create root node here. I'm just going to create a new scene. Can we just create a new scene here? No. I think I'm just going to click on 2D scene. Now we have node 2D, and then we can just, and here we can we just create a new scene? Hmm. Okay, so that's not, or I can just go and rename this to main. Okay, so we have a main scene now, and in here, that node 2D has now been renamed. I just right click on it and then I renamed it. And then what I want to do here is to go and save scene as main.tscn. Save that. So now you would see in our, let me just go try to open that up in the directory. GD games, where is that? Where are you? Hmm. GD games, GD. Okay, I can see it now here. And it did generate the files in my directory. So we have a git ignore already. We have an icon svg, main.tsc, and mmages. I think that is going to be the scene. I am not yet sure with regards to how we can work with scenes here. Can we put it in a scene folder and so on? But we'll try to explore that as we go along with learning how to use this engine. So the next thing that I just want to do here, as we have saved the main.tsc and here, is to add a player character. So let's add right click, add a child node. And one of the things that I've already read, and if I just go and try to open up, where is KinematicBody2D found, and you would see there are some forums that's talking about KinematicBody2D in Godot 4. So if you're wondering where that came or where that is now, it has now been changed to CharacterBody2D in Godot 4. So if we try to click here and then create, that should be creating as a CharacterBody2D. And we can just try to rename this into player. And you would see it's telling us that there's no shape, so it cannot collide or interact with the other objects. Consider adding a collision shape 2D or collision polygon 2D as a child to define its shape. So that means we will have to add a child node, and I'm just going to create here. I think we can just go and say sprite, and there's that sprite 2D. And we also want to select the player, add a child node, and we want to have a collision shape 2D. Collision shape 2D. And you would see it's telling us a shape must provide for collision shape 2D to function. Please create a shape resource for it. So we do have some shapes here. So perhaps we can just use this new rectangular shape. And let's see. So we have that rectangular shape there. And now let's go. So we do have a rectangle shape. And what we can do next, select the main and let's go and add a child node and look for static body 2D and create that. And in here, it's also telling us it has no shape. So what we can try to do, but first let's try to just go and say that this is going to be a ground. And then inside of that, we can say that we want to have a shape. It says that this node has no shape, so it cannot collide or interact with other objects. Adding a collision shape 2D or collision polygon 2D. Let's try that out. So let's go click OK and then add child node and collision shape 2D. And it says here that please create a shape resource for it. So we can say that I will just go again, use a rectangular shape, and then I'm going to move it down here. And let's see, can we have another one? Or we can just, can we say control? Okay, so we can duplicate this. We know, I just press on control D. Similar with Unity, there's that option to have a control D for you to be able to duplicate a shape here. And next thing, we would want to add a script to our player. And I think we can go and attach a script. and you will see it's providing us a path player GD, and it will be creating a script for us. We'll create a new script file. So if I try to go and create that, and the good thing about Godot, you will see it provided us with some code information already. And if you try to look at it, it's similar with some other programming languages. We have some if statements. We are, also, I think extends is like we're inheriting the character body 2D. We have a constant variable speed and a constant jump velocity. And if we try to read through here, get the gravity from the project settings to be synced with rigid body nodes. And we have bar gravity project settings, and we're accessing a property, and we're accessing it from this path with the default gravity. And it's not requiring us to add a semicolon, unlike with other programming languages. And we have here a function identifier or a function name called physics process with a parameter that we can pass in into the identifier here or the method. I would call it a method because I think this is already built in into the language. And then we have add the gravity and then an if statement that is starting, or let's say this is the identifier. If not, is on floor. Also, this is like we're saying the exclamation mark in other programming languages, and then we're just trying to call this method here with a function invocation operators, and we are passing in velocity. We created velocity dot y, and then we're augmenting it with gravity multiplied by delta. So I think we'll have to explore what those specific parameters are being used for. But technically, it's adding the gravity. We have a handle jump, get the input direction, and handle the movement deceleration. As good practice, you should replace UI actions with custom gameplay actions. So I think we can try to explore that. But for now, you do have a direction input get access UI. And again, this is, I think it's a method that is built in the language. Of course, we can try to check that out. If we go to the documentation, what is that input? Dot. Can we find something about it? We do have input handling, and there are some. So I would suggest go and explore the documentation. I think this is definitely going to be helping us out in exploring the Godot engine. I haven't really read a lot through it, but as we go along, perhaps we can try to work on that. I'm just trying to familiarize myself on how the code base is currently working right now. And we have a property method that has a get access, and we're utilizing UI left, UI right, that we're passing in inside of this get access method. And we do have an if direction velocity dot x direction multiplied by speed, and else velocity dot x move toward velocity dot x, and then I think there's another value here, and we're just accessing that 300 value. So if we try to go and save this, let's just try to see what would happen if I play it. No main scene has ever been defined. Select one. So I think we can just say select. No, sorry. Play again and select current scene. And let's see if we can try to move the player now from here. And if we will not be encountering any errors, there doesn't seem to be anything that's appearing. Perhaps that's because we don't have a camera. Hmm. Why is that happening? So we do have a 2D shape. We have a script attached for the player GT. Or I think we have to be here. So we're not seeing any of the scene because we're in the script tab here. We have to go to the 2D scene. Then let's play. And then let's see if the player can move left and right. Hmm. So that's not working. Or perhaps we have to have some sort of a camera. Add child node. We have a camera 2D. Then let's play. Sprite 2D. Sorry. Where should that be? Or I think we're outside of the camera. How do we? Yep, I think we are outside from the camera. So let me just select all of those and then put that here. How do we zoom out? Okay, we can zoom in, zoom out using the scroll mouse button. And then let's try to go and try to test this out. Hmm. So that's not working. Camera 2D. Let's see. Don't have anything here, but we do have the player. We have some collision shape 2D here. Where are we? What are we missing here? Let's play. Hmm. So it's not opening up. Okay, I just pause a little bit so that we won't be consuming too much time, but I do find here Sprite 2D and it doesn't have a texture inside of it. So let's see here. That could that be the problem? Why we're not seeing any of the things here? And how do we see this is the scene, right? Collision shape 2D. We have the sprite. I think this is this sprite, right? That's a camera. Sprite 2D, we don't have anything in the texture. So let's have to go and let me just create one and just let me just pause this for a while. All right, so I just have Photopea here, and I just created a PNG file, which is just a very simple box. So let me just try to open it up and try to go and drag that to the scene. So let me just try to drag the square PNG. I think that's already there. We do have the square PNG here. Now let's have to go. Can we go and look for player? Do we have a? So we can see that there's a transform. We have a texture, but we do have our sprite 2D. Supposedly we should be able to. How can we add a texture here? Can we just drag that? And I think that there it is. And I think the collision here is the one that we have to put here and play. Let's just see if that will work. And there we go. And we now have a we do see that there's that movement left and right in the scene, but we're not seeing any of the following. Let me just go delete this. Also this one. And let's just try to go and change the color for this one. Can we increase the transparency? Yep. What would the ground look like? Let's put that in first. And the collision 2D, let's just have that and then play. And let's see if that will work from where we can see. No, that doesn't work. Why is that color not working? Transform, we do want this about color. I think we can increase the transparency here and then play. And try to see if that should be appealing. That's also still not that appealing. But we do see the player can jump, but we're not able to see the platform. Why is that? Why is that happening? Let's see again. Let's just start it out. Mhm. And I think my dog is moving my keyboard, but we do see it's working, but there's no sprite. Or perhaps we have to add a sprite also here. Sprite 2D. Then same thing, what we can just try to do is, let me just go get Photopea and change the color. Uh, let's see if we can go and change this color. Uh, and let me just pause for a while. Okay, I just created a ground.png. Can we move that down here? No, that doesn't work. And I think we can just go add that texture here. And then, oh, we can remove this up. Yep, we can do that. And this one is the one that we have to put here. And then the collision shape 2D, we can just bring that down back to its level. Now let's try to see if that's going to allow us to see it on the scene. And we do have that basic movement with the use of our, and we now have our basic box here working.